Statistics shows that one of the biggest burdens that single parents face in their parenting journey is the burden of dealing with a difficult or a troublesome family member. Most especially, it may be your ex-partner, or it may be the family of your ex-partner, or even your own immediate family. These are the people that should be there to give you a supporting hand, to give you a helping hand. But rather, sometimes they will instead be a thorn on your flesh. Arise and thrive. I understand that we meet difficult people every day in our lives, right? We meet them at work, on the street, everywhere. But having to deal with difficult family members as a single parent can be challenging, especially because family members play an important role in that parenting journey. They play an important role in raising that child. They are like your support system. So on the one hand, we need their support. But on the other hand, we don't need the stress that comes with it. So how do we find a balance? How do we find a balance? And that is why we are going, or that is what we are going to be discussing today. But before I go, or before I continue, hello everybody. Hello you. Hello you. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Peggy Barre, and I am so much looking forward to us having this discussion. I hope you're doing great. I hope everything is fine with you. And yeah. I'm glad that you're here. So in today's video, I would like us to talk about some strategies for handling difficult family members, or even handling friends, because sometimes our friends become more or less our family. Okay, so we create that network with them, that cohesive community with them, but sometimes they can be a pain thorn on the flesh. Yeah, so we want to be able to make sure that we understand how we can manage difficult family members while balancing the parental responsibility as a single parent. So it is very sad that some people would not just leave you alone. There's some people that no matter how you please them, no matter how you manage them, no matter how you're nice and kind and gentle and loving and forgiving, no matter how good you are to them, they will always find a way to make sure that they stress you. They will not leave you alone. In fact, they'll be on your flesh every time. They just want to see you cry. And it could be an ex, or even a current partner, or even their family, or even your own family members. Yes, your own family members sometimes can be a pain. They don't even understand what you're going through. You're trying to explain your situation to them. Nobody is getting you. And sometimes they can create a lot of tension. So while you're trying to ensure that you meet the needs of your children, or maybe your child or your children, these people will do everything possible to stress you and to distract you. Sometimes they just do it purposely to distract you and to make sure you start believing what they say about you, like you're not capable. And nothing you do seems enough, because they will find a way to always disrespect you, demoralize you. And some of these people are the same. It's very sad, because like I always say, some of these people are the same people that should be supporting you to raise that child. They should be there. They should be that supporting system, but yet no, they're instead stressing you. My experience have actually taught me that relationship and parenting journey requires many skills. Oh yes, I had to learn some skills and learn it the hard way, because we may not be comfortable sometimes with some of the skills and some of the decisions that we have to take, but they are vital for our well-being and that of our kids. And so I'm going to be sharing with you 10 quick ways how to manage difficult people in your life. And number one, which is very important, is to set clear boundaries. If you are the the reason why I'm laughing is, if you are the old version of me that like to please everybody, like to be nice to everyone. If everybody says so, you say yes and yes and yes and yes and yes. If you are the old version of me, you will definitely find it uncomfortable to set boundaries. But it is very, very vital to define your limit. Okay, we need to, I've learned that we need to define our limit. We need to set boundaries for ourselves. Everything that we do, even between you yourself and your habit, you need to set boundaries. Family members may need, they need to know that you are not comfortable, especially when it comes to involvement in your child's or involvement in your private life or involvement in your decision. Sometimes you need to let them know that you're not comfortable. You're not comfortable for them interfering. They cannot just come in and go out whenever they want. So setting boundaries helps to establish respect, and it also reduce unwanted interference in your personal life, okay, and in that personal parental journey. It reduces that interference. So when we set boundaries, there is one thing when we set boundaries, and there's another thing to enforce that boundaries. When we set boundaries, we need to communicate our boundaries clearly and kindly, not being rude. Okay, we need to let them know what we think and why we have done it. So the this version, like this new version of me that you see, right? I think to an extent, I'm bold to an extent now to say no, right? I'm bold to say no, thank you for your advice, right? Yes, you may be giving me your advice. I will listen. I will not disrespect you. I will listen to your advice, but no, thank you. No, thank you, because I don't agree with you. Okay. Or I will thank you for the advice, but I would like to make this decision myself. Sometimes I can say, thank you so much for that brilliant advice, but please, I would like to make this decision myself. You need to demonstrate that you are mature and mentally capable to make accurate decisions without interference, especially if such interference, are intended to frustrate you. There are some people that just want to frustrate you. Yeah. So it is okay to say no. Say no and say no. Setting boundaries also requires consistency, because some people will push you, especially, and as parents as well, setting boundaries for our children is very important, because children sometimes will also push you, same as family members will push you. So they will push you, and just to try and see how ineffective that boundaries is. But you need to stick to your boundaries and be tough. And it can be sometimes tough. Be tough on it. Be tough on what you said that you would do, especially if family members are, are just, if they've been interfering for a very long time. It might be very difficult for you to break that habit. But at first, you may sound like a joke to them. When you tell them that I don't want to do this, I don't want this, I don't want that. At first, you may sound like you're joking. But if you keep consistent, keep being consistent, keep that consistency. If you're consistent with your words and you're consistent with your action, they'll eventually get the message. So number two is that you need to prioritize your child's well-being. Mm-hmm. Prioritize your child well-being. You love your child, same as your family member will love your child, okay? And when it comes to parenting, it's about thinking, what is it best for my child? What is it best for my child? If them being involved is best for your child, then that is where both parties, both sides need to come to an agreement. What is best? How can we behave for the best interest of our child? So yes, you need to shield your children from conflict. If family members, like sometimes family members will come, their interaction may become tense, or they may become contagious, or just being wicked. They just want to create fight. Try to avoid exposing your children to this negativity, because some family members just like to do it in front of the children. They will come and they will wait for the child to come, and then they will burst out and start screaming and shouting and accusing you. And it is that drama is not necessary. It's not necessary for your children's well-being. And so sometimes they will do this to push you so that you can react in front of your children, or maybe you can lash out in front of your children. But this is where you need to keep your calm. You need to be assertive, and you need to provide a stable environment for your child. Okay, you have the right to say, you know what, you're not ready to talk. Sometimes you're not ready to talk. They may talk. Keep your calm. Tell them that you're not prepared to talk at that moment. Maybe you can have a conversation another time. You can also limit interference, and that means if a particular family member's actions or words negatively impact your child, that means every time they come, they create a scene, they create a drama, and their coming to your place always affect your child's well-being, then you may need to consider reducing that person's role in your child's life, okay? Or even limit the time that they spend with your child. It's very, very necessary. Number 3 is that we need to focus on positive communication. I know it can be tough sometimes, especially like I say, if your other half is not collaborating or not understanding, there's always conflict, it can be difficult. But try your best to stay calm and composed when responding to difficult family members, especially your other half. Sometimes using positive words can prevent escalation. And because some of them will come purposefully to use some really core bashing words and statements that will push you. But this is where you need to exercise wisdom. For example, if they raise their voice, keep yours low to encourage a more constructive conversation. And it is very important to use the I statement. I've found the I statement very, very important. I statement are powerful because it reflects your feeling rather than their actions. For example, you may say, I feel stressed when you criticize my parenting abilities. Instead of you saying, you are always criticizing me, you are always, you are always, you see, it creates tension. But when you stress, you calmly stress on how you feel about their actions, then that actually de-escalate the situation. It de-escalate the environment and that tension. And one thing that you also need to do, which has really helped me a lot, is avoid getting down or drawn into arguments. There are sometimes, again, they'll send you a text message just to provoke you, bring something just to provoke you so that you can start texting back and arguing back and forth, back and forth. You don't have that time. There was a point that I just say, you know what, say whatever thing you want to say, text how you want to text, I just ignore it. If I can respond positively, I'll respond. If not, just ignore it. Because some family members may just be critical or confrontational. You don't feel obliged, don't feel obligated that you have to justify everything they say. Calmly state your choice and try to get be wise. Okay, don't get caught up in trying to defending everything or defend yourself or defend, because I tell you, there's some people that will never stop. If you say 1, they will say 10. You say 10, they will say 20. And by the end of the day, it's just drowning your energy, okay, depleting you from that time that you would have taken to invest and give attention to your children. So number 4 is limit your contact when necessary. That's another thing. I know, again, there are some important core family members, especially our other half, that we cannot really cut off, especially except that when it gets to a point where their presence is detrimental to the children and maybe you have to go through the legal system to cut them off. But if not, then I know sometimes you just have to manage the situation. Both of you just have to manage the situation. So you've got to minimize the time spent together. Like, for example, if certain family members are consistently causing you stress, you need to try and consider spending less time with them. And this doesn't mean that you're cutting them off or you refusing or cutting their ties or cutting ties off with them. No, it just means that you are taking care of your own mental well-being. It just means that you're prioritizing yourself, your mental health and that of your children. And sometimes when you create that distance with them, it actually builds the relationship. It may even encourage the relationships to grow, encourage the relationship to be more positive. So if you find it challenging to maybe completely limit contact with them, then you might try to reduce direct interaction. For example, if a family member used to come to your house and you used to have one-to-one with them, try to meet them in a more family gathering where there are other people there, so that you will not be forced to have a one-to-one conversation with them. You understand? Because if you guys are in a group or maybe in a family setting, you are not obliged to speak to them. and you will not make the environment awkward as well. You can be interacting with other people. You can just say hi and then be interacting with other people. At least it is important for you to take that break when necessary. So, number 5 is that you need to lean on supportive family members and friends. Yes, I know that some members of a family can be a nightmare, but some of them can be as well nice and understanding. Okay, so try to lean on those ones that are friendly, or those ones that are supportive, those ones that do not judge you. Okay, so seek positive relationship and focus on spending time with those who are more supportive. Like I say, spend more time with them. They can provide some comfort, and they can also minimize the stress that other difficult family members are causing you. And one thing that is very important, try and always find ask for a backup. Yeah, ask for a backup when necessary. Confine in a supportive family member who may help you, because I know in every family you have like your confidence, one person that you can always confine with, you can always run to and have a discussion, have a conversation with. It's not that it's not as if they're taking your side, but they're being open, they're being they how do you say it, they're being constructive in the way they're viewing things. They're looking at both sides. Okay, they're not just hanging on one side, they're looking at the whole situation, and they're giving like a more constructive decision or constructive support that you need. So sometimes it's always good to actually find those ones that you can actually hang on with. Don't isolate yourself. If you're not unsure, seek support, and they will always be there to support you. And point number 6, remember your independence. Oh, yes, this is a very, very big one. Remember your independence. Remember that you are capable of looking after your child, you're capable of parenting your children. Because some of them, some family members, or even your ex, will give you the impression that you're not capable. Oh, you're not capable. You cannot look after that child. You cannot do this. You can't do that. You can't. No, in everything, make sure that, remember that you're capable. You're a capable parent. Let nobody kill your confidence. So you need to maintain your confidence in your parenting choices. And pet family members who may want to question, because I know some of them, like I said, they may want to question your decision as a single parent, but you need to always remind yourself that, hey, at the end of the day, I am the primary caregiver. I am the mom. I am the dad. Okay, I am capable of looking after my children. I am capable of making wise decisions, right? So trust your instinct, trust your intuition. And even when family members have strong opinion about your parenting skills, don't let that bog you down. Don't let that discourage you. Remember that you are raising your child in a way that aligns with your values, and in a way that is right for your family. Okay, so number 7, you need to also exercise practical self-care and stress management. Take time to recharge. Parenting is not easy. It's not an easy job. Take time to recharge. Managing difficult family member is stressful, especially as a single parent. So you need to set aside time for activities that you love. Okay, it might be find time to relax, whether it's a hobby or maybe going out exercising, going out with friends, going out to have a me time, going out to have a meal just on your own. You need that outside support. All right. Sometimes, the stress of a family issues can be overwhelming, but you might also need to seek therapy. Seek therapy, go to groups like single mom groups or other groups that you guys can communicate. Because sometimes when you go out and you're having a conversation with somebody, you may say that, oh my God, they're going through the same thing that I'm going as well. So I'm not alone. So you guys you're like buddies. You can support each other and comfort each other. Okay. So point number 5 is stand firm when needed and pick your battles wisely. There are some battles that are not necessary. There's some fights that sometimes we don't need to. And I mean, you need to stand your ground on key issues. For issues that matters most to you, like maybe issues like your child's values or your key parenting decisions, stand firm on them. And it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no, even if when everybody says yes. If everyone says yes, if you know deep within you, following your intuition that this is not right for my child, okay? And especially if you know your child very well and you know that this decision that they're taking is not right for your child, stand your ground, right? On the other hand, be willing to let minor issues go. It's not every battle that we must fight. Not every disagreement is worth addressing. Not every argument is worth our stress. So decide what is truly important and try to let minor criticism go. Right? Somebody may say something, sometimes behave, act as if you didn't hear. Sometimes I didn't hear that thing, and that is how you also manage your own emotion and manage your own stress. Number 9, consider long-term solutions, because you know what, you cannot continue to fight forever. If they are your family members, if it is your partner, maybe your ex, you both cannot continue to fight for infinity. There will have to be a solution, a breaking point where you guys have to really reevaluate the relationship or reevaluate certain things in the relationship. If a family member is constantly, repeatedly, every day disruptive, being disruptive and demonstrating harmful habits that affects your mental health, you need to consider how often you want to see them in the future, or how often you want them to interact with you. Try and avoid them as much as possible, and if they are not really a core component of your children, also try and avoid it. And this is where, if it gets to a point where maybe you want to seek legal help in such a way that they can put some boundaries, legal boundaries there for the kids' well-being, then by so do it. Yeah. So you need to set a positive example for your child, because your child is seeing you, your child is observing you. The way you deal, or the way you will, the skill and the ability that you will use to deal with a difficult relationship can be an example for your child. Okay, your child can learn some conflict resolution skills there, and also self-respect. So if you're demonstrating, if your child is watching you, you're demonstrating, you're calm, you're respectful, you're assertive, you're not just a pushover. You don't need to teach your child that everybody can come in and push you over. No, no, no. You need to be assertive. You're communicating your point, but you're calm, you're respectful, you're holding yourself, but then communicating what you need to communicate. It teaches our children how to also manage challenging behavior, or manage challenging relationships. Point number 10 is focus on the bigger picture. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we need to keep perspective. Remember why you're engaging with certain family members in the first place. Are they maybe your other half? Are they your child's mom? Are they your child's dad? Are they are they your other family members, like your in-laws? Remember the bigger picture. Okay, especially if they have a positive relationship with your child. So we may not like them, like I always say, we may not like them the way they see us. They may not like the way they see us. They may not like our actions. They may not like the way we do, but they may want to question everything we do. But the question is, do they play a positive role in your child's life? If yes, then you need to focus on the bigger picture, right? And again, it is very, very important that it is to set strategies that can manage that difficult parenting dynamics. Because while balancing the responsibility of being a single parent, it is very important that you balance the way you deal with the relationship with those who are important, a core part of that child's life. So as you navigate this relationship, or as you navigate your single parenting, and as you navigate your relationship circle, you need to prioritize your child's well-being. Create boundaries that work for you, and help and find those that you can lean on, that supporting network that you can lean on, and those who can encourage you and reinforce, your skills as a parent, or help you to reinforce your confidence as a good parent, so to say. So I hope you learned something. And what is your thought? I would like to hear from you. Do you have some difficult family members, and how have you managed or maintained the relationship with them? Please, I would like to hear your thoughts. Drop your thoughts and we can all learn from it. And I hope you learned something in this video today. And if you did, please do well so much to like and share. And then I will catch you in another video. You take care. I love you. Bye bye. Bye. I hope you learned something from this video today. If you did, please like, share, leave your comment, and also subscribe. When I post any video, you will be notified. Also, you can follow me on my social media handles. Just search for Peggy Barre, and I will see you shortly. Thank you. Take care. Bye.